You're listening to Civic Media. You can tune into any of our live shows on any radio station across the state with the Civic Media app. Find us in your phone's app store and listen anytime, anywhere.
Good morning. Welcome to Matt Nair on Air. Jane Matt Nair, Greg Bach, Kevin Butenoff, coming to you live from our home here at Radio Park in Racine. Join us, call or text at 855-752-4842. You can leave a comment if you're watching in the live stream on Facebook, YouTube, and what used to be Twitter. Coming up in about 20 minutes, we're going to talk about Halloween candy prices.
Yeah.
It's Halloween time. Decorations are up. I'm seeing them all over the place when I drive into work. And a new story from TMJ4 about how much candy is costing these days. So what are you going to be giving out for trick-or-treaters?
Nothing.
Maybe cheese slices. I'm thinking about it.
You think I can afford cheese slices, Jade?
I haven't looked yet, but we'll see. Halloween candy prices coming up in a little bit. We will lighten things up for the last half an hour of the show, as we like to do. Audio sorbet today, where we take a breath and get away from the news. We're talking all things sports after 10:30 with Journal Sentinel sports guru J.R. Radcliffe. He will be here.
My stomach hurts.
I know you're all in knots about today's game because we still don't know who the Brewers are going to face on Saturday.
Yeah.
It is going to be the NLDS Game 1 set for this Saturday, October 4th. We're still waiting to find out if it's going to be the Cubs or
the Padres.
And the game will be on WRCE, WISS, WRJN, WCQM, and WBZH. But again, we're still waiting to find out who it is going to be. All right. No, neither of those are really ideal.
I'd rather play the Padres.
Just to keep the Cubs fans out of Milwaukee?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't think you're alone.
No. I know I'm not alone. I'm not alone.
So that is coming up, and then we're going to wrap up the show as we always do with This Shouldn't Be a Thing. Today it is the Lost Boys edition. It's a good one. Stay tuned for that. We wanted to talk about Wisconsin tariffs and Wisconsin farmers, and this is obviously a big story in the news. This is from the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel. Anna Kleiber has the byline, China is boycotting American soybeans. Wisconsin farmers will pay the price for it. Yep, big time. Katie Tur on MSNBC spoke to a soybean farmer from, I believe he is from, I know you put it on here, Calvin. I'm just trying to find it. He's from Arkansas. This is Arkansas soybean farmer Scott Brown talking to Katie Tur about the news that we're going to give $20 billion to Argentina so they can keep selling their soybeans to China. Let's play that clip, please, Calvin.
You know, as a farmer, we get up one morning and you give Argentina, which is our second biggest competition in the world. They're the largest exporters of soybean meal in the world. So I get up one morning, I turn the news on, and you give $20 billion of taxpayer money to my competition. And then the Chinese buy, I think the figure is 30 or 40 containers, ships, which is about 65,000 metric tons per ship, which is like 2.2 million bushels. So they buy 12 or 14 billion dollars worth of soybeans from the Argentinians after the tax holiday. And here's the caveat to it. They give $2.30 over the November board, while I'm getting 50 cents under the November board. So that makes the Argentinian soybeans about $12.42 a bushel. I think that's the real figure they gave. So all my premium went.
Scott, I just lost you there at the end. You said your premiums go?
They all went to Argentina.
Yeah. All right. She says that don't worry. It's a time of uncertainty, Brooke Wallens does. Hang on. Relief is just around the corner. Mm-hmm. What would that relief be? Do you see it coming?
I don't know. I mean, how do you give me relief through the CCC with the government shutdown? We were going to plant canola this month. It's one of the few things we've found. It's moved into Arkansas. They're going to make renewable jet fuel and renewable diesel of it. We've never raised any. I had to get a loan from FSA to do it because it's an uninsurable crop through the federal crop insurance. But they would let me do it through the NAP insurance. Well, I can't even get the loan for it because there's nobody at the FSA office. There's nobody at the NRCS office. We shut the government down. They all went home.
Smooth. Things are running smooth, baby. Yeah. It's all smooth as silk.
People who like this. People who like MAGA, people who like Donald Trump, people who think we're winning. What is your solution for the farmers? I want to know. I want you to tell me right now.
Well, wouldn't it just be an elegant solution if they just keep farming and give it away for nothing? That's what Ron Johnson kind of implied to our Wisconsin child care providers.
I mean, I don't.
I mean, do it for MAGA. Do it. We were told.
Do you think that's what they should do, guys?
We were told there would be 2 years of pain.
Well, we were told by Elon Musk, who's no longer around, by the way. He got to ditch. He got to run out.
After blowing a bunch of our money.
Yes. After wasting billions of dollars. I think 100 billions with a B. After losing an election he personally financed in Wisconsin, he got to go back to his companies, and now they want to pay him $1 trillion, and he's gone. So he's gone. 2 years of pain. We're going to be in decades of pain.
Yes.
And our farmers are going to suffer probably worse than anybody. They were already not well taken care of by this country, but this administration, I think, actually hates them because they are doing things which targets them, which ruins their ability to make a living. Some of these people have been doing it some of these people are on their 3rd, 4th, and 5th generation. So I would like to know from you, if you're listening and you are a MAGA supporter, what's your solution?
Or is this great? Maybe you think this is great. It's great. Wisconsin's 16,000 soybean farmers produce almost $1.3 billion worth of soybeans every year, the second largest crop in Wisconsin. This is a big deal in Wisconsin. Wisconsin farmers this year planted an estimated 2 million acres of soybeans, and now they have nowhere to sell them.
Because Argentina just got $20 billion of our money, and they lowered their prices.
To China,
who President Trump spoke to / asked to, begged, however you want to frame it, said to them, please quadruple your. So here's the thing is, he knows we need to sell soybeans. He knows it's good for America, but they continue to do things that rake these farmers over the coals so they can't sell their soybeans. But he thinks if he talks to China and says, quadruple your order, they're going to listen to him at all.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. Isn't that meeting supposed to happen today or sometime this week?
That request happened a while ago.
Oh, I think there's. Yeah, he said he's going to talk to President Xi this week.
Oh, yes,
to ask him about this. What really gets me, and this goes back, and we played this clip yesterday from Brooke Rollins, who is the Agriculture Secretary, talking about what an elegant solution the Trump administration has for our farmers. So we are all, as American taxpayers and importers, we are all paying for the tariffs.
Mm-hmm.
So our costs are going up, including farmers.
Correct.
They're paying for the tariffs too.
Yes.
So we're going to take the money that we are paying, we're going to give some of that back to the farmers. So they're kind of getting their own money back in a circular way.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's an Ouroboros. It's a snake eating itself.
Yeah.
This is also the same woman who said, hey, take some of those people who are illegally on Medicaid, they're not, and put them into the fields because we are snatching away the help of these farmers who are giving jobs to migrant workers who are trying to make a living. She said, well, all those people who are illegal on Medicaid, those jobs are waiting for you on the fields. That was another solution from the Secretary of Agriculture, not your insane aunt at Thanksgiving, the Secretary of Agriculture.
In the first Trump term, his trade war with China cost U.S. agriculture $27 billion in losses. $27 billion in losses during the first go-around with Donald Trump.
And he gave the farmers a bailout in total of $16 billion when all was said and done that first term. So we're 2 terms, 2 bailouts, 2 trade wars, 2 impeachments. What else we got? There was 2 other things too. It is nothing but pain with this man. And people, and I don't understand how you think that we're winning. I don't get how you think this is good. This doesn't tighten our belt. Look, everyone can look at their budgets and say, let's cut back, let's trim, let's make efficiencies. Maybe people need to lose their jobs. That's a part of that process. But this is just, I'm just gonna say, it's mean. This is mean, and this is it's targeted and it's purposeful and it's without remorse or without any sort of like self-reflection. You're just going to do it. And sorry.
We're going to talk to Will Westmoreland next week.
Mm-hmm.
We have him scheduled to join the show. He is a farmer in southwestern Missouri that we've talked to several times. And he has mentioned, too, with a lot of the farmers that he knows in that area all voted for Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And he said, I don't expect you to say you were wrong. I don't expect, he said, I just would like people to admit that they got lied to.
Yeah.
Just admit that Trump lied to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a good starting point.
And hopefully next week we will have Darren Von Ruden on the show here. There was a
reason why
there was an outside force. So hopefully he will be on next week. And because I want to hear from him what he's hearing from farmers in Wisconsin.
Yep.
Because this is a big deal. And I do not understand. I truly don't how people can see this happening and say this is good.
I think a lot of these farmers, unfortunately, are going to end up going into bankruptcy.
Absolutely.
And then we have these handy little things like Acre Trader that J.D. Vance is a part of and Peter Thiel is a part of, where they buy up farms that are in bankruptcy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
One wonders if there's a tie there. 855-752-4842. Jean from Eau Claire is on the line. Good morning, Jean. Thanks for joining us.
Great show as usual. You have to tune in every day. You guys got something great for the public. And this is my opinion. Trump is one of the best snake salesmen that the world has to offer.
Yep.
I have never seen such a guy that could pull people in and tell them really bad things. And the sad thing about it is, and he also reminds me of Charles Manson. He may have gotten some of his ideas, get people to fight against others.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Blame the other one. And the sad part of it is that in what you said is, about people joining together and buy up these farms and make big bucks off it, and that's a fact.
Pennies on the dollar. Yep.
Yeah, and he's the only guy I ever seen, who made money after the World Trade Center had happened, or after we've had a recession, go up and buy the homes that everybody lost.
Yep.
Trump, in my opinion, hates America and hates Americans. And the sooner we accept this fact, one of my friends said to me once, he's trying to kill people off. And I thought, I kind of didn't go for that one. But God darn it, attacking medical care, what else can you say? So please, people, wake up. This is not Democrat, Republican. I've been an independent my entire life. This is horrible. Start loving your neighbor and start paying attention to what this guy's doing to you.
Mm-hmm. To us.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yes,
Thanks, Jean.
Thanks a lot, Jean.
Bye.
Thanks a lot, Jeannie. Really appreciate it. Yeah, this is bad for all of us.
Yes.
All of us.
Yep.
Little people.
Yep.
We're all kind of little people here.
Absolutely. I don't have $1 billion. I don't even have I'm barely 1,000 there at this point.
If you'd work harder and pull yourself up by your
I know.
bootstraps,
I'm
that
so
would be
lazy.
different.
I should get on Medicaid. I'm so lazy.
Also, if you'd only had different parents. But anyway, when we return, Halloween candy prices. Is it time for us to start handing out pickles?
I would love that.
That's on the way. You're listening to Matt Nair on Air on the Civic Media Radio Network.
You're listening to Civic Media. Stay up to date on the latest news and information for your local community and Wisconsin by signing up for our free email newsletter. Visit civicmedia.us/email to get started.
Good morning. Welcome to Matt Nair on Air. Jane Matt Nair, Greg Bach, our one, our only Calzone on the board, coming to you from our studio at Radio Park in Racine. You can join us, call or text at 855-752-4842. You can also leave a comment if you're watching on the live stream on Facebook, YouTube, and what used to be Twitter. If you normally listen to our show on the Civic Media app, apparently we have some cross things going on. I believe Stephanie Miller is running right now.
On WAUK.
On
as we know, yeah.
WAUK. So if you're listening on the app, that's not going to help you. But just to let you know, we are tracking it down because we're getting some texts and emails coming in. wondering where our show is on the app. So we have alerted.
We're back.
Oh, we're back. Okay. All right. Good to know. Thank you, engineering, for jumping on that right away. Coming up after the 10:30 news, Milwaukee Journal Sentinel sports guru J.R. Radcliffe is going to be here to talk all things sports. Big game this afternoon. We won't talk about it. It makes Greg very upset. He's very anxious.
I'm not. Yes, anxious.
You're very anxious.
I'm just. There's a lot in my brain going on right now, and I listened to JR's podcast this past week, and it did not help at all. No, because they're so learned and knowledgeable, and
doesn't that make you feel better though?
no, they weren't. They weren't saying, "Oh, we got this sewn up. It's gonna be great. We can't wait to." No, it was. They were pointing out all the possibilities, and I don't want to hear. I just want a high school team to come into it, somehow beat the Padres and the Cubs, and then they go into game one of the NLDS.
That's all you want?
That's all I want.
Is that
I
too
feel
much?
like Cubs got in 2016, and I don't care about the Padres.
Can we just do that for Greg? Is that too much?
Thank you.
Just throw the last game and give it to the Brewers. But just do that. That'd be great. Well, J.R. Radcliffe coming up in just a little bit. Are you going to do Halloween this year? Are you giving out candy? Because the tariffs and everything else going on, candy prices are now skyrocketing.
Mm-hmm.
This is from WTMJ with Meryl Hubbard has the byline, trick or treating, coming with a spooky spike in prices. Some candy store owners are jumping in. And one person said she started looking for treats last week. Bagged mixed chocolate candy, you're looking anywhere from $30 to $40.
When you said that to me before the show, I thought you were talking about, it's like a bag of artisan candy from a single shop that's, local and locally made. No, we're talking about
probably like the Snicker bites and the, Twix bites and the smaller sizes.
That is
that's a lot of $30 to $40. That's a lot for Halloween candy.
Yeah.
Inflation is a contributing factor in many things involved in the candy making process, including butter, milk, cream, and eggs.
Yeah.
So are you still going to buy candy this year to give out? 855-752-4842. Maybe you're considering an alternative.
I really liked what you said earlier in this pickles. Just drop a good old Milwaukee gherkin in there and be like, there you go, kid. That's a palate cleanser for your high-priced Snickers fun size.
I think that's an opening for me to get my house toilet papered.
Jane, if I came up to your house for trick-or-treat and
I gave you a pickle
in the bag, I would come over the next day and be like, can I mow your lawn next summer? To me, if you gave me a pickle as a trick-or-treat treat, I would, that's like when you find the house is giving away full-size Milky Way bars.
That's a big one.
It's a prize. You are a gem to be protected.
BJ on the live stream, hand out condiment packets from restaurants. Like Taco Bell hot sauce packets. Make great handouts.
Wow.
You must be really popular in your neighborhood.
I was going to say, you're suggesting it as in you have experience in doing this to children. They're going to TP your house.
I'm going to give out small things of pickle relish just to see what happens. 855-752-4842. Ollie from the Northwoods on the line. Good morning, Ollie. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning. Well, candy's been getting higher and higher every year for quite a while now.
Yeah.
But it is outrageous this year. I have taken to giving the small-size packages of microwave popcorn and a pack of hot chocolate.
That's nice, Ollie. The microwave popcorn, that's not a bad thing.
No, that's fun.
Maybe you can buy them in bulk somewhere.
Yeah.
What's that?
Yep. I said they get enough candy, and you can buy a big box of the microwave popcorn at a certain store starting with a W, and the same with hot chocolate. So
excellent.
It's not bad at all.
Appreciate that, Ollie. Thank you so much. That's a great idea. Roger on the live stream says, I'm staying away from the chocolates, Tootsie Rolls, and Smarties. Have a better per piece cost.
Isn't Tootsie Roll chocolate?
Chocolate.
I'm not trying to be.
I would say Tootsie Rolls are chocolate adjacent.
Yeah. I also, for me personally, like I when I would go trick-or-treating as a kid, and I feel the same way about candy jars. Like we have a candy dish here at the station, and the only thing I would ever touch is chocolate. I don't want
those little fruit things?
I don't like the fruit things. I don't like Smarties. I don't like anything citrus-based. Nothing that says it's banana tastes like banana. Just give me a little Snickers. Give me a tiny, oh my God, a Reese's peanut butter cup. Oh my God.
Sharon, our office manager, has those.
It's so hard to resist that stuff. But yeah, the Smarties, I'm like, oh, cool.
But
awesome.
for a kid.
But I would be loving popcorn.
Kids would love it. Popcorn's a great
awesome.
That's a great idea. Good idea, Ollie. Appreciate that. All right, news is coming up next. And then when we return, we are talking all things sports with J.R. Radcliffe. So stay with us. You are listening to Matt Nair on Air. This is the Civic Media Radio Network. We'll be right back. Good morning. Welcome back to Matt Nair on Air. Jane Matt Nair, Greg Bach, who's very excited. Calvin Butenoff coming to you live from our studio at Radio Park in Racine. You can join us, call or text at 855-752-4842. Leave a comment if you're watching on the live stream on Facebook, YouTube, and what used to be Twitter. Coming up in about 15 minutes, we have This Shouldn't Be a Thing to wrap up the show. Today it is the Lost Boys edition. Stay tuned for that. It's a good one. Right now, though, he joins us every other Thursday to talk all things sports. Milwaukee Journal Sentinel sports guru, J.R. Radcliffe. Good morning, J.R. Tell Greg everything's going to be okay. Would you please?
Everything is going to be okay, Greg.
There you go.
Not because of sports, because I don't know, because I believe in you and life, and sports are going to crush us. Sports break our hearts, so that's not the thing.
I was telling Jane that I was listening to your fantastic podcast, Microbrew, as I do, because I like to listen to the experts talk. And as the experts sometimes talk, you absolutely make me feel like there's no hope in the world.
But did you hear my prediction? At the end of the last episode, Greg, there was a little treat. Treat waiting.
I'll have to finish it because honestly, at one point, I'm like, I can't do it. I can't do this. I feel like
you bailed out before that good stuff.
I drive 4 minutes to work and back. I have to listen to an hour-long podcast over like 3 weeks. And by that point, a baseball podcast might as well just be like, hey, last season. So yeah, give the audience, but still listen to the podcast because it's a really, really good podcast, Microbrew. Tell us the prediction you told your podcast fans.
Well, last year, not to pat myself too strongly on the back, but I predicted that Sal Frelick would homer in the playoffs. And that was a big deal because he'd hit 2 home runs all season. They both came in May. They were on back-to-back days. And I said, you know what? It's going to happen here in the playoffs. And then it did. So obviously I am clairvoyant and decided that I would let the fates speak to me again this year. I was open to possibly any sort of vision. And Greg, I think they're going to the World Series. This is what I shared is I think this team, I just believe it now. Yeah. I have this extraterrestrial is the wrong word, this supernatural faith that came to me.
Excellent.
That I think this team can go to the World Series. I did not say that I think they're going to win. I did say I think they're going to play the Seattle Mariners. Shout out to anybody who remembers the 1969 Seattle Pilots. And it was, but you know, like the premise, The reality of it is that when you get to this point in the season, it isn't about numbers. It isn't about matchups. It isn't, I mean, it is to some degree, but it is about faith. It is about like teams just kind of getting the breaks and getting lucky. In baseball, 3 games is not enough sample to determine whether a team is better. 5 games is not enough sample. 7 is not enough sample. I mean, if you looked at the Brewers the last 7 games of the year, you would say, oh, that's not a playoff team, you know? And obviously, you know, this part of the year is about guys you weren't expecting coming up and becoming the hero. It's about, you know, just a ball bouncing under somebody's glove. Like there are so many little tiny minutia, random events that are going to come into play. At some point, the Brewers will probably have their back up against the wall, and maybe they dig out of it and maybe they don't. But there's unfortunately just not a lot to say. They have put themselves in the best position possible. They're the number 1 seed. They have a favorable matchup in terms of you don't want to face this Dodgers team that we've seen over the last month through September and then into their first round series. So they're going to have the perceptively better opponent, and you just kind of gotta go with it. You just gotta kind of ride the wave. It's hard to do, but there's nothing else you can do now. They've done the hard part. Now it's just the ride the wave part.
Kevin, find George Michael's "You Gotta Have Faith." We'll play that for Greg and see
Let's
if that makes him feel better.
It's weird. I want to get here. This is where I want us to be. And the moment we get here, I'm like, oh God, I'm gonna die inside because everything is falling apart. Because honestly, JR, they kind of went out the way they came in.
Like a lamb. Yeah.
Yes.
Very difficult to put to really wrap arms around what a baseball season is like in terms of, you get to a point where you're going to be a team that has a first round bye, and maybe you're not the number 1 seed, but it's just not the same level of baseball. You don't want guys getting hurt, so you're resting William Contreras the last couple days of the season.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say they're taking it easy or don't care, because at the end of the day, it is a matchup between a batter and a pitcher, and you want to get a hit. So how much foot off the gas can you really get? And you see all the time teams that need the win lose to the Reds needed that last win of the season, and the Brewers went and got it. The Brewers played better on Sunday to get a 97th victory and a franchise record. So, you can't really say that there is such a thing as like taking your foot off the gas, but it was different, right? Like September, you kind of knew where the Brewers were going. They had sort of solidified it, and they just needed a break. They had guys who were hurt. William Contreras is a great example, but Sal Frelick, everybody needed, I think, a good stretch of time to just rest.
Mm-hmm.
So these 5 days could not be a better thing for the Brewers. It's perfect. They weren't playing well. They're banged up. Give them this time to recuperate, and they're going to be facing a team that only has 1 day of rest, which is still a lot in baseball. That's plenty, but they have been chilling at home, relaxing, vibing, and now hopefully that's a renewal source for them, and then they can really hit the ground running when the division series begins on Saturday.
Well, and we're going to find out later on today, right, who they're going to be facing this weekend.
That's right.
It all hinges.
Yeah,
it's that Cubs game this afternoon.
Yeah, it's Padres Cubs game 3 of their wild card series. Winner moves on. Winner comes north, basically. So both games were very close. The first 2 games, both teams that won, the Cubs winning game 1, the Padres game 2. It felt like they were mostly in control. So I think anything could happen. Yu Darvish pitching for the Padres makes me a little nervous. He's got a great long track record, but he's not the pitcher he used to be. So I think if you're hoping for the Padres, that's a little tough, but I would have said the same thing when the Mets threw Jose Quintana in game 3 of the wild card series last year, and then he threw 6 shutout innings against the Brewers. So what in reality do I know? Again, there's no there's no way to predict it. It's just all small, teeny samples.
Yeah.
I think either team is actually okay. I think the Brewers are okay against either one of these teams, especially with those extra days of rest. The Cubs come with the baggage of Cubs fans, coming into the stadium. We've talked about that before, and I'm sure there are plenty of people who want to avoid that, and plenty of people who just want to take it head on and show Craig Counsell the door if the Brewers are in position to do that. So I really don't think I truly, just on the field, I truly think both of those opponents, they're different in what they're good at. I think the Cubs are a slightly worse matchup, but I think at this point, I feel comfortable with the Brewers facing either team.
If you're just joining us on Matt and Air on Air, J.R. Radcliffe from the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel is here to talk all things sports. And we are talking, obviously, about the Brewers, who will be playing on Saturday. We're just waiting for this game later on today to find out who they're going to face off against. The one thing I heard, J.R., and I don't remember if I heard it on Pat Critlow's show or maybe with Todd, if it does end up to be the Cubs and you have tickets, please don't sell them to Cubs fans. Sell them to Brewers fans, right?
Of course. And I think that the team is actually, and this is sort of secondhand, I don't know this directly from the team, but there's language about those who bought it with a pre-sale, but those who got tickets because they have season ticket packages or just got an early shot to buy tickets. Some language that they don't want you to resell it, or you'll be penalized. You won't be able to participate in future pre-sales.
Whoa.
So I don't know if that's common. I have never heard of that before, but I've had a couple, we've talked to a couple season ticket holders where I know that is some of the language. But even with that in place, I don't want anybody to get optimistic into thinking there won't be a ton of Cubs fans there. I mean, remember how, I actually just went to Kenosha a couple days ago and talked to people there. That's a very 50-50
And you didn't visit? Thanks.
It was a very busy day. I'm so sorry, Greg. We should have hung out at the Brat Stop. That was absolutely my bad. But so I mean, it as well as anybody. It's a 50-50 split. There's a lot of Cubs fans all over this place.
Definitely. Yep.
And they probably bought tickets already. Like they probably bought their own tickets, like let's just in case. And if we'll sell them, we'll sell them to Brewers fans if we have to. So there's going to be Cubs fans there. It's going to be noisy either way.
Yeah.
Brewers fans will come out though. Brewers fans will have their backers. It's not going to be overwhelmingly Cubs fans. That's not the place we're in right now. So I do think it'll be a fine. And hey, if it's not, the Brewers have the best road record in baseball. So they are used to playing in front of hostile crowds, and they'll be able to get it done again.
It'll just be interesting if the Cubs do win, if they start just yelling out Green Bay sucks again, because that's what they did at game 1 of the wild card. After they had beaten the Padres, they're walking through Wrigley Field and just a chant of Green Bay sucks. And I'm not kidding you. A lot of people were befuddled by this. They're like, what are you doing right now?
I don't know a lot about sports, but that is a different sport, right?
It's a different city.
Okay.
It's a different everything.
I'm going to the experts to clarify because
yeah.
You got to stay on brand. Everyone knows that. You got to stay on brand.
Speaking of Green Bay.
Oh man, can I just last week Paul Noonan said there was no way the Cowboys would win.
Do the Packers just suck, or what is going on?
It is at least a question we have to ask. I think the answer is no. I do think this is about as head scratching as it gets. And 40-40, like you could not have convinced me after watching that defense the first 3 weeks. Speaking of small samples, not telling you enough that they would give up 40 points to a Dallas Cowboys team that didn't have their best receiver, and quite honestly hasn't been that impressive even with their best receiver. Truly befuddling. I think, if we want to look at optimism, there's a couple things. First of all, Micah Parsons did make the play that saved the game. They were about to score a touchdown in overtime and he made the tackle. So there's at least that. The offense figured something out. It's super confusing because the offense has been so pedestrian, I would say. And then they absolutely hit a gear here. So that's very encouraging. They should hit a gear. Dallas is not a good defense either. So they should have scored 40 points. It's just this defense sort of taking a step back. I still think there's enough good personnel on that defense. And I trust Jeff Hafley as the coordinator. He has shown it over the past year plus. I think they're going to figure that out. And then it's a matter of, do you think the offense thing is sustainable? I think they still have some things to work out too, but that was actually pretty encouraging on that side of it. They don't get the loss, which is obviously still not great, but it could benefit them down the road. So at least they come through that a little bit unscathed, and they get a bye too. Like they get a break, and it's a little early in the season for that, but you got to figure that they're gonna turn this around and go back to whatever was working those first 2 weeks. Because right now you have to ask, was that the aberration? Was the Lions and Commanders performance, was that the outlier?
Yeah.
And they're actually a different team. And there's a lot of evidence for the first 3 weeks of the NFL season not telling you a lot. And so now we're getting into the portion of the season where you really find out what they are. So I'd say this game against the Bengals is really big. The Bengals are not good either. So if they don't show well against the Bengals, we said this about the Cowboy game too, but really after the bye, if they show poorly against the Bengals, I think you got to push the alarm bells that something is just fundamentally wrong, and we got to start exploring how to fix it.
Calvin?
Yeah, I guess my biggest takeaway and biggest frustration from the Cowboys game was, yes, 40 points is too many for the defense to be giving up, but the special teams is absolutely abysmal, and it was a problem last year too. We've had multiple field goals blocked this year. We are consistently behind in the field position game off kickoffs. The special teams is just a problem.
Agreed. And we just throw up our hands trying to figure that out. Like there's no rhyme or reason for it. They have a great coach, or at least perceptively a great coach, who was brought in just for this, to transform that special teams unit from one of the worst in football to functional. That has not happened. It doesn't seem like the personnel doesn't matter. No one seems to be able to understand. It is enough of a weird thing, special teams, that it's really hard to grasp. Why isn't this working? And I think it just comes down to players just got to make plays. They just got to figure it out and make plays. And I know it's never quite as simple as that, but this is becoming very unnerving, Calvin. It's tearing everything apart.
We are up against the clock, so we're not even going to talk about the Badgers going to Michigan. We'll just pretend that's not going to happen at all.
Fine.
J.R. Radcliffe is the sports guru for the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. Check out his podcast. Follow him in the paper. He is fabulous and joins us every other Thursday. Thanks a lot, J.R. We will see you in a couple.
All right, see you later.
When we return, this shouldn't be a thing, the Lost Boys edition. Stay close. You're listening to Matt and Air on Air on the Civic Media Radio Network. We will be right back.
You're listening to Civic Media. Find the latest news, information, and archives of all your favorite shows on the Civic Media website, civicmedia.us.
Good morning. Welcome back to Matt Nair on Air. Jane Matt Nair, Greg Bach, Sweet Cal B on the board, coming to you from our studio at Radio Park in Racine. Join us, call or text at 855-752-4842. Leave a comment if you're watching on the live stream on Facebook, YouTube, and what used to be Twitter. Just want to share this. Sue from Franklin texted in, listening on WAUK. Is the time set yet for Saturday? We got standing room only tickets for the game. The time has not yet been set.
As far as I know, yeah, no.
We do not have a time for Saturday's Brewers versus, we don't know yet. But as soon as we find out, I would imagine once that game, the Cubs and
the
Padres game is concluded later on today, we will have more on that for you, Sue. Because again, right now, we do not know what time the game will happen on Saturday, but we know that it will. Coming up for you tomorrow, we have a jam-packed Friday on the way. Lisa Schiller is going to be joining us. If you play any kind of games on your tablet or on your internet, and I know I have seen these, play this game. We will pay you.
Yeah.
We'll pay you millions and billions and trillions of dollars. Lisa Schiller from the Better Business Bureau is going to join us to talk about whether or not that's legitimate.
As well as other scams.
Yes.
You should be on that. We're coming up on holiday season, folks.
Yes. They're coming.
Yeah.
And they're already there, too. So also Dan Schaefer joins us every Friday, Civic Media's political editor and the creator of the Recombobulation Area. Dan will be here in hour number 2, so I hope you can join us. It is 10:54. Calvin, that means it's time for...
This shouldn't be a thing.
If you ever find a thing you think should not be, send it in to Greg and me at janesays@civicmedia.us. JANESAYS. Jane says at civicmedia.us. You can use that address for other things. Kurt actually emailed us at Jane says, and he's going to share with me his cream of mushroom soup recipe.
Sounds tasty.
So hopefully this time it doesn't turn out gray, which is the last time. No food should be gray.
A mushroom-based gravy or sauce can be gray. It doesn't mean it's bad. I firmly disagree with you. Firmly.
Well, we'll kick that around possibly tomorrow or whenever Kurt sends me his recipe and I attempt it again. But yes, you can always reach us at janesays@civicmedia.us. Okay, here is the headline that Calvin found. Vivian Muniz and Joe Mason from 2822 News.
Wow.
Headline reads, Pennsylvania DOT workers got lost in tunnel during inspection. Relief yesterday at the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation after crews lost communication with workers who had entered into a tunnel. A small group of Pennsylvania DOT employees were making measurements, and it was just a regular tunnel inspection during in a flood tunnel. Those employees say they were working their way out when they lost cell service, and that's when someone on the outside called 911. For a while, the people in the tunnel could hear the emergency personnel on the other end, but the EMS workers could not hear their responses. Soon after, the workers were able to wade out through a creek and make it out.
So dramatic.
Chief Engineer Bonshewski says the workers were perfectly safe the whole time they were in there, but we couldn't hear them. So we took precautions to be on the safe side. You know, they walked out of the tunnel on their own. Everything was fine.
What do you do? So they weren't so much. Were they lost, or did people think they were lost?
I think people thought they were lost. He said in his 37 years at the Pennsylvania DOT, he has never seen anything like this. He's happy the story has a happy ending. We're always worried when workers are in a tunnel with no communications. That's why we brought the whole technical rescue team in. It just sounds like somebody lost their cell phone. We leave a signal.
We found you. We weren't. We're fine.
lost.
We're in a tunnel. A tunnel really just goes like in two directions. And
we were there's out and that way.
There you go.
Yes. So anyway,
what a weird thing.
Everybody's fine.
Yes.
Everybody's out. Several local EMS workers came out to help, and they say they are just grateful nothing serious happened in there.
Whew.
What a relief.
Yeah.
That is a good thing. And wraps up today's episode of
This Shouldn't Be a Thing.
I know a lot of us going to be watching baseball a little bit later on
I
today.
will not be watching baseball later.
You're just going to let it happen?
I'm going to let it happen and find out later because right now my stomach hurts a lot.
He's very, very emotionally invested. You're not alone.
I know.
JR said the same thing. You're in good company. There are a lot of
he's
people.
a sports guy. He gets to live around all the sports all the time. It's like the Brewers is all I have.
You'll be okay. We'll
Thank
make
you.
it through, my friend.
Oh, that's so much sarcasm.
We will make it through. Again, Lisa Schiller joining us tomorrow from the Better Business Bureau, Dan Schaefer from the Recombobulation area, and much, much more. Thank you, Greg and Calvin and all of our engineers and everyone at Civic, because without you, nothing works. And thank you, most of all, for calling and for texting and for listening and watching on the live stream.
Yes.
It means the world.
We really appreciate you.
I hope you find some joy today and you get the chance to share it. We have news coming up next. Don't forget, Tom Hartman going to have the next keyword for you in our multi-state text to win Go for the Green and Gold contest.
5 more chances.
5 more chances. Tom Hartman twice today. Then Todd Alba,
Yep.
Maggie Dawn, Pete Schwaba. Last day of the contest is tomorrow, so get it in today.
We wish you good luck. Hit
Good
that
luck.
Civic Media app.
Absolutely. Keep it right here on the Civic Media Radio Network, and we will see you tomorrow.
The national news cycle never stops, but it can be hard to find news about your local community. Civic Media is dedicated to providing quality local and state news coverage across Wisconsin. With the Civic Media app, you can get notifications about local stories that matter to you and your community. Find the free Civic Media app in your phone's app store and choose notifications from the menu to tell us what kind of news you want to hear about.